Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. My name's Heather and I am a queer author of dark fantasy and young adult paranormal. Today I wanted to have a bit of a chat with you about some of the obstacles I've had to overcome in pursuing my author dreams. So let's dive right into it. Is that I'm dyslexic, and I did say I would do a video on it, so here's this video. This is the processes and journey I've been on with dyslexia and pursuing the career of becoming an author. Given growing up in education, I had been told that I wouldn't amount to a lot, that I was lazy, that I didn't apply myself enough. But the problem was I wasn't diagnosed until I was halfway through high school with a learning disorder of dyslexia. So once I got that diagnosis, it made everything a lot more clear and easy for me to move through and find strategies that help me benefit that. So just a quick definition of how I experienced dyslexia, and also a quick disclaimer that my experience with dyslexia is going to be vastly different to other people's experiences with dyslexia. So it is a journey that each and individual people with any form of learning disorder are on to better themselves, or to adjust and make processes that fit their needs. So this is 100% my opinion and how the benefits I have found for it. Dyslexia is basically the breakdown in the ability to comprehend and the fluency of language in written form, and mine often presents with jumbling up or choosing words that I think, like phonetics, don't really work for me. I try and then just guess. So how I have moved past it is I read a lot because I find that it helps me with my speed and comprehension, but it also helps me look at how I experience stories and how I can improve and have cleaner writing drafts for myself. There are the way I format documents, with the spacing of the document, the tint of the page. I tend to like a slightly yellowish page to an extent, like more of a creamy yellow, just because I find that I'm able to concentrate longer on it when it's those colors. I also do handwriting versus typing. My handwriting is really messy in general, but when I initially sit down with an idea, I like to handwrite it because it requires me to then slow myself down and allows all the thoughts that are in my head to get out onto the page. So I do brainstorming, and my first outline is all handwritten because it gives me, as I said, it gives me that chance to take a step back and slow down and actually process all the information that my brain is throwing at me. With that, also visual aids are quite helpful for me. So in the form of brainstorms, I draw little maps around so I can comprehend how to describe things better. That also leads on to face claiming or fan casting my own stories. Whether it's a picture of a landscape that's based in my stories, or the characters, because then I have a visual representation, so it gives me a chance to look at it and able to describe it more thoroughly for myself. So that's how I move on to getting the plotting and organizational side. With the writing, the actual writing, I do type it up. A couple of steps I do take in doing that is I use a text-to-speech program. The one I quite like is speechnotes.co. It is a website. It's also an app. So I can then dictate, because it then allows me to speak out my story so I can talk it out. But also, as I stop to take a breath, I understand that that's natural punctuation. I then invested in myself and in a program such as Grammarly. Well, I use Grammarly personally, but there's things like AutoCrit and Pro Writing Aid. This isn't sponsored, as they do more than just spell check and basic grammar checks. It then allows me to look at passive voice in my story and rephrasing. And then there is also like a little information box, so I can learn more about why that has been flagged as an issue, and that helps me to improve my writing skills and do a cleaner draft. I also, when I do my first drafts, I only do very, very quick basic spell checks, and I don't even spell check on the day I write it. I come back the day after and do the spell checks. But then that leads me on to one of the most you can never underestimate them and the importance of them, of beta readers and critique partners. But the relationship you form with critique partners and beta readers, for me personally, is a really important one. Because first of all, they need to be supportive in the way that my brain functions and thinks. Because being dyslexic is a neurologically atypical, so that means functioning differently. So I find them that they are someone I also trust to understand how to approach certain things. Also that they have to be overly patient, not in a bad way, but like they have to be super patient and understanding and willing to teach you or explain things repeatedly. So yes, they are my tips and how I process my dyslexia. I also know that Writing Mum Sam L. Nassett has an amazing 2-part series on her channel about dyslexia and all the disorders. So please check her out and give her a thumbs up. And while you're down there checking people out, please consider giving this video a thumbs up, because it really supports my channel and it will help other people that might be looking for how to pursue their dreams with a learning disorder. And please subscribe, because I put out videos twice a week on my reading and writing journeys. Until then, let's use our voices to promote positive change in the world. Thank you and goodbye.